Our coverage tonight begins in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. The Court of Appeal sitting there has affirmed Martin Amaewhule as the authentic Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly. The appellate court, in a unanimous decision by a three-member panel of justices, also validated the Amaewhule-led members of the Rivers State House of Assembly as bona fide lawmakers of the state. This is coming months after Governor Siminalayi Fubara appeals the judgment delivered by the Federal High Court on January the 22nd, which nullified the 2024 budget of Rivers State on the premise that it was not presented before members of the State Assembly known by law. News Center's Emmanuel Bagudu reports.
Another victory for the 27 lawmakers and their speaker, whom Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State had declared their seat vacant. According to the appellate court, Fubara shot himself on the foot when he voluntarily withdrew a counter-affidavit he filed to challenge a legal action instituted by the Speaker Amaewhule-led faction of lawmakers, instituted to be recognized as valid members of Rivers State House of Assembly. The court held that Governor Fubara's decision to present the 2024 Rivers State Appropriation Bill to only 4 out of 31 members of the Assembly amounted to a gross violation of Section 91 of the 1999 Constitution as amended.
Right Honorable Martin Amaewhule is the authentic Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly, as found by Justice Omotosho, and that the other 26 members are still the valid members of the House of Assembly. And any act done without these persons participating is clearly a nullity.
The number required to conduct the business of the House of Assembly, this has not been done. As claimed by the factional leader, I think this one has ended his tenure as factional Speaker of the House of Assembly. I think that's the end of all these disputations and contestations.
Reacting to the judgment, the Speaker of the Rivers State House of Assembly expressed his confidence on the law and the court to restore order to the state.
So we are happy that indeed we still have the judiciary that is interpreting our laws the way they should interpret our laws. We are not surprised, because we have always said it, that we stand on the path of the rule of law. We will ensure at all times that we keep to our constitution, obey our constitution and the laws of Rivers State.
It will be recalled that the Rivers State Assembly was factionalized owing to the frosty relationship between Governor Fubara and his predecessor, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike.
Again today, the Court of Appeal made it clear that the Governor of Rivers State does not have a budget upon which is governing the states, because the Court of Appeal upheld the judgment delivered by Justice Omotosho, wherein he declared that there is no budget for Rivers State for the fiscal year 2024. What the Court of Appeal has done today is to reaffirm the judgment delivered by Justice Omotosho, and every single matter decided in that judgment by Justice Omotosho was upheld today by the Court of Appeal.
The court also ordered Governor Fubara to pay a fine of 500,000 naira to each of the respondents as damages. In Abuja, for News Central, I am Emmanuel Bagudu.
Interestingly, the Rivers State government has reacted to the appeal court judgment on Thursday in Abuja on the State Assembly crisis. The state government says the judgment did not reinstate the Martin Amaewhule-led faction of the State House by any stretch of imagination. In a statement signed by the State Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Israel Iboroma, SAN, in Port Harcourt, the government clarified that Amaewhule and 26 others had defected on December 11, 2023, adding that their seats became automatically vacant from the day they announced their defection from the People's Democratic Party to the All Progressive Congress to the whole world. The Attorney General insisted that the issue of defection of Amaewhule and 26 others was never before the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal Abuja, and therefore no court has legitimized their membership of the House of Assembly on the basis of the defection. Let's head on now to security matters. The Minister of State for Defense, Bello Matawalle, has called on bandit informants to repent or meet their end soon. The minister made the statement during the operational visit at security-threatened areas in Sokoto State including Gudumi, Hawan Durum Village, Isa and Sabon Birni local government area on Thursday. The visit was in line with the directive of President Bola Tinubu to crush bandits in the northwest. Matawale said that so far the operation has recorded massive success with the killings of several notorious bandits kingpin in the axis. The minister called on the people of the town to assist the federal government in this fight, saying that the informants are the major contributing factor on insecurity in the axis. Still on security, the Nigerian Defense Headquarters has said a notorious terrorist kingpin in Jigawa State known as Hajabi, has been killed in an operation conducted during the week. The DHQ said this was part of its efforts to destroy the fighting capabilities of terror groups across the northern parts of the country. Director, Defense Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, disclosed this while briefing journalists on the activities of the troops during the week. He noted that a total of 165 terrorists were killed and 238 suspects were arrested. Buba added that troops already also arrested 35 suspected oil thieves in South and denied the oil theft of the estimated sum of over 688 million naira. Meanwhile, the Defense Headquarters has challenged former Niger Delta militant leader Asari Dubo to face the military on the battlefield. This comes after Dubo on October 5 allegedly threatened to shoot down a military helicopter near his residence and claimed he could defeat the Nigerian military. In response, Major General Edward Buba, Director of Defense Media Operations, dared Dubo to test the military's strength. He warned that Dubo would be neutralized if he engaged in combat and urged security agencies to address the threat. Buba reiterated that the military's main focus remains on combating terrorists across various operational areas.
Comments by some individual that they can shoot down the helicopter of the military, I think that's laughable. In fact, I'm about to laugh about that. And I say that because, you know, we're in a democracy and we are a professional force. We cannot just based on somebody's comments begin to do certain things and then they will now accuse the military of being undemocratic. The military is not the only security agency, force or department in the country. There are other security forces who have a role to play constitutionally when it comes to some of these issues. But I tell you that he doesn't have that capability. He's just blabbing. But I will allow the security forces that are responsible for handling such cases to take up the matter. Ours is come on the battlefield and we take you out. He should come on the battlefield and see whether we can react or not. Now to comments about welfare. I must tell you at this point that when you look at the high command of the military, beginning with the Chief of Defense Staff, General C.J. Musa, to the service chiefs, one thing the common denominator you will see or find is that all of them have operational experience. They've been in the battlefield. They know what the troops in the field are feeling. And that is why on their appointment to their positions, they knew to take welfare of the troops as priority, which they have done. I can assure you that the military doesn't play with the welfare of its troops, particularly at this time.
Away from security matters, the Board of Trustees of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has asked the National Working Committee of the party to urgently convene a National Executive Committee meeting to address the crisis within the party. Chairman of the PDP Board of Trustees, Senator Adolphus Wabara, made the recommendation at a meeting of the BOT in Abuja on Thursday. Wabara also urged all that are invited by the party's disciplinary committee to freely present themselves, stressing the supremacy of the party over any member. According to him, the Board of Trustees held a significant meeting with the governors of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, in August, where issues around the political situation in the state and its effect on the party was discussed. If you've just joined us, you're watching Tonight. A reminder of our top stories. Appeal Court validates pro-Wike lawmakers, declares Rivers 2024 budget passed by Edison Ehie group illegal. Trade Union Congress condemns latest fuel price hike, demands reversal to pre-June 2023 rates. Senate condemns conduct of local government elections across Nigeria, decries undemocratic processes. United Nations paints grim picture of flooding in South Sudan, says 1 million people impacted. Thank you for staying with us. We now turn our attention to the petroleum sector. For the second time in 1 month, Nigeria has increased petrol costs, further intensifying economic pressure in a country already facing inflation and widespread hardship. As reported by News Center's correspondent Igbalani Omoni, this latest petrol price hike has exacerbated existing economic challenges for Nigerian citizens. Some Nigerians expressed their view on the implication of the new pump price.
Akachi Felix, a former unit supervisor at a major export company in Nigeria, has turned to commercial driving to earn a living after being defrauded of his savings while attempting to travel abroad. Dealing with this predicament amid high inflation and rising food prices is a heavy burden for any Nigerian. However, the challenges do not stop there. Mr. Felix must now pay nearly 1,000 naira per litre for petrol.
We seem not to have any say. Even when you protest, it's not going to work. You understand? So it's a hopeless situation. That's why I'm saying that the level of impunity has taken over a lot of things because you don't know who you base your hope on.
Nigerians face the harsh realities of another fuel price increase, the second within a month. The latest adjustment raises the pump price to a record high, with costs ranging from 998 to 1,050 naira per litre across regions. This is a steep increase from the 650 naira in early September and 897 naira before the current change. Observations from fuel stations show reduced activity in some, with long queues at other pumps as motorists rush to fill up.
Before, I fill up this car 11,000 naira, but when they change it to 980 something, I fill up with 60,000. But now that is 998, I didn't sure I can buy 60,000 naira again because I've been here since 5 o'clock. And if there was a old man that said he has been here since 4:30.
Passengers are complaining now because as we are suffering to buy fuel now, do you understand? So if you tell them price, if you call price for them, they will be like, I did the one that increased the fuel, this thing. So we are the one the increasing of fuel affecting much. You understand? We are the one going through the pains.
While the May 2023 decision to transition to a market-based pricing model aimed to improve efficiency, the frequent adjustments have prompted debate around the sustainability of the fuel subsidy removal, especially amid soaring living expenses. The end of the NNPC middleman arrangement between Dangote Refinery and marketers, allowing direct purchases from Dangote Refinery, has led to the latest pump price change, according to reports. As public frustration grows, there is uncertainty about whether the petroleum sector has truly been deregulated.
It appears that every morning people come out and increase. Is that all about governance? We have had agreements on looking at the issue of CNG, the impact on it. Today, it's not there. We have had agreement on the issue of Port Harcourt refinery functioning. It is not functioning today. And like I said earlier, they said if we deregulate, so that the private sector will come in and participate. It will involve, competition. And when there is competition, the market forces will determine the prices. Now, where does that economic analysis lead us to now?
How the government responds over the coming weeks and months will be critical to navigating the country's near-term economic outlook amid a multitude of domestic and global uncertainties. In Lagos, for News Central, I am Igbalani Omoni.
Let's also tell you that the Trade Union Congress has demanded the return of petrol prices to what they were as of June 2023. TUC President Festus Osifo said this at a press briefing in Abuja on Thursday. He asked the federal government to specially intervene in the sector by giving foreign exchange to Dangote refinery at 1,000 naira to $1 and not the current over 1,600 naira to $1 exchange rate to crash petrol prices. He emphasized that the federal government needs to intervene in its critical sector and should not leave the oil sector to the gyration of the naira. Since May 2023, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, has increased the pump prices of petrol from 184 naira in Lagos to 998 naira. The price per litre of petrol was around 450 naira in Lagos as of June 2023. The Senate has condemned what they term worrying development across the 36 states where political party in power always wins 100% or 99% of seats each time a local government council election is conducted. The upper legislative body admitted that democracy is at best non-existent at the local government level in the country, calling for urgent actions to rescue the third tier of government. The resolutions came after a motion by Senate Minority Leader Abba Moro, representing Benue South and co-sponsored by other senators. The Senate agreed to initiate an open national dialogue with stakeholders, particularly state governors, and to meet with President Bola Tinubu.
That the provisions of Section 197 of the State Constitution, together with the third schedule, Part 2, of the Constitution have been grossly breached, and the state local government elections of 5th October 2024 in Benue State and in some parts of Nigeria were marred by rampant manipulation, thus thwarting the goal of establishing truly representative local governments in Nigeria.
The truth is, this is going to be a serious and difficult issue to resolve. National Assembly alone, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, cannot resolve this. We can do our part, but we must do beyond our part. We can say, okay, let's try to say INEC should do, but is that the solution? No. Even INEC, in some states, people complain about INEC, but at least the complaints are less.
Also take seriously, but the faster the better. I want us to conclude on all these constitutional amendments, electoral amendments, and then look at ensuring full autonomy for state assemblies, ensuring financial autonomy for local governments. If we can achieve those things under the administration of President Bola Tinubu, then we would have been able to set the democratic process on the right track. And I think that should be our commitment. So observe what they are doing, because this one is akin to somebody sitting down to do caretaker committee and then using the name of election to cover it.
Let's now tell you that Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State had sworn in 15 members of the People's Democratic Party that have so far been announced winners of the October 9, 2024 chairmanship local government elections in the state. Swearing them in after they had taken their oath of office, the governor urged them not to abuse the trust of the people of Plateau, but join hands to move the state forward. News Center's Chizoba Anyowe reports that the returning officer for the 17 local government areas in the state had announced the results on Thursday evening at the State Commission head office in Jos. The Plastic boss, who said results of the remaining 2 local government councils are still being awaited, added that winners of the election satisfied all the necessary requirements in the keenly contested exercise. 2 results from Pangxing and Langtang North local government areas are still being awaited. All right, let's go back to the conversation around the price hike on petrol products across the country. We're joined now by Olusola Bello, an oil and gas expert and a publisher, Business Standards. He joins us from Lagos. Good to have you on the news. What conversations are being had in the oil and gas sector as regards this pricing and NNPCL's role? Shola, if you can hear me. Okay, I think we have bad audio with our connection with Olusola. We're hopeful we can get him back on. But let's continue with other stories. Inspection of materials used in the conduct of the Edo State September 21 gubernatorial election for the 2nd day suffered setback at the state INEC headquarters in Benin City. The development followed an argument by the APC that a pending petition against the PDP be addressed before commencement of inspection. Accreditation of parties represented for the process on the 2nd day of inspection of materials at the state INEC headquarters. Journalists were shut out of the process, which was marred by an argument over a series of allegations by the APC that the name of the PDP candidate was not included on the voter register. Amidst the arguments came a security alert bordering on safety, following which parties were dispersed. Inspection of the beavers and other materials used in the conduct of the September 21 election is expected to commence on Friday. Representatives of the PDP and chairman of the Labour Party shared their thoughts on the development.
The exercise as directed by an order of courts for election materials to be checked by the parties concerned. But the experience here now is a total melee, and it's not a conducive atmosphere for which an exercise of that kind can take place. So it's my view, therefore, that the agencies concerned, the law enforcement, the political parties concerned, must come together and look at what they can do to ensure that the exercise is carried out. For me, a level playing ground must be provided for those who are contesting the election in order that we can get to a platform that is acceptable to the generality of the people in Edo State. The expectation is that we should have a government that will be available to us. And therefore, if there is a contest, it's expected that they should be given the platform to be able, a platform that is acceptable by all, to be able to do the contest in court and come out with something. But for today, it is clear that there is a total disagreement between the 2 political parties, contesting the APC and PDP. So I'm not sure any exercise can happen here.
They are saying they want to continue the inspection. Inspection of which materials? Materials that they brought from government house, or which materials are they trying to inspect? That is the bone of contention. And when we were doing that, look at, they shot one of our boys outside. If you can remember, they said it clearly that they were going to, through their DG, Matthew Dwekeme, that they are going to unleash mayhem on us here today. And they've made their threat possible now. They have shot one of our person outside. They are rushing him to the hospital right now. You mean outside here? Outside here. Outside right now. And what they are trying to do, like we've been alerting since yesterday, is to invade this place so that they will destroy the materials that are relevant to our case and burn down.
We have a court order that we came with that we're supposed to act upon, but there was counter arguments even when the head of operations put a call through to the INEC rec, which is confirmed to everybody, and said that the process should continue. But the people from the APC said made so many allegations and said they had a petition, and on the basis of that, the INEC said the place was not conducive for us to hold this exercise anymore. So that's where we are now.
Okay, so what was the argument about?
The argument was that they had a petition and that the petition must stand. But we know that a court order, a petition is like, to me, I'm not a lawyer, but it's like a query. If you issue a petition, people can still go on with the process while the petition is being investigated. But there was a heated argument, and the head of operations said it wasn't.
In the meantime, members of the People's Democratic Party in Edo State have accused the Independent National Electoral Commission in the state of bias during the recently conducted governorship election. This was as they protested at the INEC headquarters in Abuja, urging the electoral body to compel its state arm to obey a court order allowing the party to inspect the bimodal voters registration machines used during the conduct of the poll.
Only APC agents were allowed into the State Collection Center after they had moved collection for places like Orodo to the State Collection Center. And if you will recall, gentlemen of the press, we raised concerns about Mr. Amaewhule, the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, and that we did not trust because of where he was coming from. INEC told us there was no problem that he would perform it, that they were sending national commissioners. But what did we see at the end of the day? Even the IREF did not tally with what INEC announced. INEC is the custodians of democracy. Without democracy, there won't be INEC. And without INEC, there won't be democracy. The nation is losing faith on INEC. And this is what we have come to register. That you must change that perception. You must change that belief. We are here, Honorable Commissioner, to plead with you all to let INEC do the right thing and get Edo State back on track. We need the right people that have been elected by the people to be installed. That is why we are here demanding that Aswe Oge mandate be returned.
I want to appreciate all of you for being peaceful the way you come here. Of course, you will have your grudges, you will have your differences, and that's why you are here. And we have collected your letter, and we are with it here. We are telling you we are going to look into your letter, look into your grievances, and address it accordingly.
Today is World Sight Day, a day set aside to create awareness about blindness and vision impairment. Experts say there is need to reduce avoidable blindness and improve sight of children. The 2024 World Sight Day is themed Love Your Eyes, Kids. News Central's Chinwe Ugele reports that a wife of the governor with some children had a roadwalk in Umuahia to herald the event.
The 2024 World Sight Day has children in focus. No child deserves to lose his or her sight over preventable causes, hence the need to send them for eye checks periodically.
If you can catch a disease at the very early part of it, the chances are so high that you will nip it at the bud. But if you allow it to fester, it can cause damages that are irreparable.
While most children have very good sight, a few who have poor vision are hardly exposed to proper medical care by their parents or guardians.
If you want to preserve your eyes, any small thing that happens to you, report to your teacher or report to your parents. It's not a taboo to wear glasses.
They've been buying drugs for me
kids to come up
because it's been affecting me like since, like during physics or maths in the lab, I'll not be able to see it well, so I'm not coping that well.
Wife of Governor Alex Oti, Priscilla, says it is a call to service for caregivers as government will not fold arms to watch its young population suffer blindness.
We must move swiftly and with purpose by making eye health a priority. We can ensure that every child in Abia State, regardless of where they live, have access to proper care. This starts with regular eye screenings, accessible eye clinics, and programs that extend to every corner of our communities.
A consultant ophthalmic surgeon, Dr. Charles Uchendu, says ignorance has caused some manageable eye cases to deteriorate.
So you find out that when a child has a trauma in the eye, and you go and go to the patent medicine store to start putting eye drop, or go to a herbalist to start putting some leaves, that child, the eye will become infected, grossly infected, from what we call scan. The child cannot see. These are basic things that if you take the child to a proper hospital, no matter the most levels of injuries and infection can be treated and the child can be okay.
Dr. Betty Emeka Obasi says parents should reduce their children's screen time and ensure they are examined by experts for correct diagnosis.
We have gone to schools, we are training teachers to be able to recognize these symptoms in children. If you have 52% of your population as children, that's from 0 to 17, it goes without saying that you should pay attention to such age group, And this year we're particularly talking about this because the eyes have become endangered.
Parents have been called upon to always observe their children and pay attention to those who present with problems of the sight. In Umuahia for News Central, Chinwe Ugele.
Mental Health Day, marked every 10th of October, is a day set aside to discuss issues on mental health as it affects individuals. This year's event focuses on mental health in the workplace. Adebola Adeduba has more in this report.
In Nigeria, the prevalence of workplace mental illness is 30 to 50%, according to Mental Leadership and Advocacy Program. In celebration of World Mental Health Day, mental health experts emphasized the need to raise awareness about mental health with a focus on the theme for this year, Mental Health at Work.
We see a lot of people with challenges, with a lot of distress, and nothing is being done about it. Part of the reason is too much work to be done, unrealistic deadlines to employees. So the decision makers need to be intentional about the goals they are setting. The HMOs you're getting for your staffs, do they have EAP in it? Do they have counseling in it? All those things, we need to be intentional about it.
Discussions about call for help signs in workplaces was also highlighted.
One of it is tiredness. The easiest, always tired. The other bit is around communication. A person who used to be very vibrant in communicating and making their points known, and the next thing the person is trying to get ideas to make sentences together, and there's also loss of concentration. You're at a meeting and we're asking, so where are these deliverables? And the person saying, say that again, I didn't get it. I've been lost in thought, and sometimes the person is just not eager to work, finds it difficult to work, and sometimes they also become very violent.
The need for employers and organizations to prioritize mental health was also a key focus.
Let's look at what is going on in Nigeria. People that are working in Nigeria, all of a sudden, the price of petrol just goes up, they can't pay their children's school fees. That will affect their mental health and the way they think. People resume at 7 a.m., they close officially maybe at 4 p.m., but some of these staff that work in the bank, they are still there till 11 o'clock. You can imagine somebody that works in Broad Street and lives in Ota. By the time he leaves the office at 11 o'clock and gets home around 12:30, and 4 a.m. the following day, the person wakes up to come to the bank. That will actually affect the health, the mental health of the people. So we will recommend that this organization, they should look at some of the things that can help their employees to reduce the number of time that they either spend in the office so that they can actually go home on time and take a rest.
Experts advocate that prioritizing mental health in workplaces not only benefits employees, but enhance productivity, creativity, and overall business success. In Lagos for News Central, Adebola Adeduba.
Outside of Africa continent, the UN humanitarian agency, OCHA, says some 893,000 people have been affected by flooding in South Sudan and more than 241,000 displaced in a grim update on the disaster. Aid agencies have warned that the world's youngest country, highly vulnerable to climate change, is facing its worst flooding in decades. Since gaining independence from Sudan in 2011, the world's youngest nation has remained plagued by chronic instability, violence, and economic stagnation, as well as climate disaster such as drought and floods. The World Bank said in an October 1 update that the latest floods were worsening an already critical humanitarian situation marked by severe food insecurity, economic decline, continued conflict, disease outbreak, and the repercussions of the Sudan conflict. Let's go over now to our business desk for today's business updates.
Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money. The total foreign capital inflows to Nigeria from African investors, excluding Nigerian contributions, accounted for 19.45% of the total capital importation in the second quarter of 2024, according to an analysis of the latest capital importation data from the National Bureau of Statistics. Nigeria got $506.68 million from these investors out of the total of $2.60 billion foreign capital. While this represents an average presence from African investors, it further marks a slight decline compared to the 22.97% observed in Q1 2024. In contrast, Q2 2023 saw a much smaller contribution from African investors, with their share making up only 15.13% of the total capital importation to Nigeria. This lower percentage in Q2 2023 indicates that regional interest in Nigeria's investment opportunities was more limited a year ago. Nigeria's House of Representatives has advocated for thorough review of existing tax laws and policies to streamline tax collection processes and eliminate redundant or overlapping taxes that contribute to the financial burden on citizens, with a view of identifying areas of double taxation at all levels to provide relief to citizens without jeopardizing government revenue targets. The House also wants the government and the relevant agencies to be sensitive to the plight of the masses by reviewing current tax policies to prevent the imposition of unnecessary and multiple taxes, particularly on essential goods and services. Adopting a motion of urgent public importance sponsored by Peter Amaewhule from the Labour Party in Anambra State, the House also asked the federal government to consider alternative revenue generation strategies, such as widening the tax net to capture more high-income earners, strengthening enforcement of existing tax laws, and plugging leakages in the system, exploring measures to increase export of cash crops, including agricultural products. Statistics South Africa reports that the country's manufacturing production decreased by 1.2% year-on-year in August, with the largest negative contributors having been motor vehicles, parts and accessories, as well as basic iron and steel, non-ferrous metal products, and machinery. Motor vehicles recorded a 16.1% contraction in output, contributing minus 1.6 percentage points to the headline figure, while basic iron and steel contracted by 5.4% and contributed minus 1.2 percentage points. The largest positive contributor was food and beverages, with an output growth rate of 5.8% and a contribution of 1.3 percentage points. Seasonally adjusted manufacturing production decreased by 0.6% in August compared with July, which followed month-on-month changes of 1.6% in July and 0% in June. And that's all on business news. I am Lekon Onobanjo. Business news in association with Money Master PSB, the easy way to master your money.
Up next is sports news.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile.
Ahead of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying clash between Nigeria and Libya at the Godswill Akpabio Stadium in Uyo on Friday, interim coach of the Super Eagles, Edison Ehie, believes that the match will be tough, but his team will try its best to grab 3 points at stake. Ehie was speaking at the pre-match conference, and team captain William Troost Ekong also added that addition of Rangers international coach Fidelis Ilechukwu and Remo Stars coach Daniel Ogumodede has improved the team. On his part, Libyan coach Nasser Al-Hadiri downplayed his side's chances, saying Libya were favourites to win. The Super Eagles currently lead Group D and are aiming to solidify top spot and extend their unbeaten run, while the Libyans are desperate for their first win of the qualifiers. The Joint Security Forces has rescued 6 sports journalists who were kidnapped by suspected hoodlums in Anambra State in the early hours of Thursday. The media crew who were en route to Uyo, Akwa Ibom State from Lagos to cover the Super Eagles match scheduled for Friday were abducted in Iseke, Ihiala local government area. Anambra State Police Public Relations Officer Tochukwu Ikenga confirmed the rescue on Thursday and stated that efforts to locate the remaining journalists are still ongoing. Ghana's quest to revive their fortunes in the Africa Cup of Nations 2025 qualifiers took a major hit as they were held to a goalless draw by Sudan at the Accra Sports Stadium on Thursday. Despite dominating the game, the Black Stars were unable to convert their chances, leaving their hopes of qualification hanging by a thread. Ghana, with just 2 points from 3 games, faced an uphill battle ahead of the return fixture on the 15th of October at the Martyrs of February Stadium in Libya. Rafael Nadal's announcement that he was retiring from tennis was greeted with sadness on Thursday on the Spanish island of Mallorca, where he was born and lived throughout his career. The 38-year-old Spaniard, who won 22 Grand Slam titles, including 14 at the French Open, will leave the game in November, and his last event will be the Davis Cup next month in Malaga, wearing Spanish colours. Fans shared their admiration for the 22-time Grand Slam champion.
Cerrar y si le llegó el momento y él consideró que era el momento oportuno, aunque nos duela a todos los que seguimos el tenis desde hace muchos años, pues nada, habrá que aceptarlo y seguir para adelante. Hay generaciones nuevas viniendo, pisando fuerte y esperemos disfrutar tanto como disfrutamos de Rafa.
Deja un gran legado, no solo como deportista, sino también como persona, porque es un chaval muy noble, muy familiar y para mí, ya te digo, un ejemplo para toda la juventud y para todos los deportistas en general.
Joder, eso es un icono a nivel mundial, no solamente Mallorca.
And that's a wrap on Sport Updates. I am Udoka Njoku.
Sports Update, brought to you by Corn Oil. Corn Oil, we go the extra mile. Unlimited.
Welcome to Entertainment Tonight. Nigerian music sensation Ira Star has reached a significant career milestone, surpassing 2 billion streams on Spotify. Since her breakout in 2019 with her self-titled debut EP, Ira has risen to become one of Nigeria's most prominent musical exports. According to data, this achievement follows the release of her second album, The Year I Turned 21, which has already garnered over 500 million streams. Ira Star boasts 2 songs with over 400 million streams. Her guest appearance on Russian's Santa, which has reached 455 million streams, and her hit single Rush, which has accumulated 409 million streams. Additionally, her collaboration on Libyanka's People featuring Omale has garnered 106 million streams, while her track Bloody Samaritan has gathered 82 million streams. Ira Star joins an elite group of Nigerian artists such as Wizkid, Burna Boy, Rema, CK, Tems, and Davido. Taylor Swift has donated $5 million to Feeding America for hurricane relief efforts following Hurricanes Helena and Milton. Feeding America CEO Claire Babinoex-Fontenot expressed gratitude for Taylor Swift's contribution in a statement shared on social media, highlighting that the donation would provide essential food, clean water, and supplies to communities affected by the storm. She also emphasized that together they could make a meaningful impact in helping families navigate the challenges ahead, thanking Taylor Swift for her support in the fight to end hunger. This donation follows Taylor Swift's history of charity charitable contributions, which includes giving $100,000 to the family of Lisa Lopez Galvana, a DJ and a mother of two, killed during the Kansas City Chiefs Victory Parade mass shooting, and $1 million for tornado relief in Tennessee in 2020. Throughout her Eras tour, Taylor Swift has also donated to local food banks in cities where her concerts have taken place and giving over $55 million in bonuses to her tour crew. And that is all I have for you tonight on entertainment. Trust Troy for News Central.
Entertainment news in association with Glow Unlimited.
And that is all tonight. But before we go, let's take another look at some of the major stories. Appeal Court validates pro-Wike lawmakers, declare Rivers 2024 budget passed by Edison Ehie Group illegal. Trade Union Congress condemns latest fuel price hike, demands reversal to pre-June 2023 date. Senate condemns the conduct of local government elections across Nigeria, decries undemocratic processes. And United Nations have painted grim picture of flooding in South Sudan. They say 1 million people have been impacted. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422. We're also on Star Times 274, Apple TV, and on YouTube. Thank you very much for your kind company. Have a good night.